upskilling, great talent can seem impossible. And who has time for turnover these days? Our new BizSkills platform gives you the tools you need to take your employees from just here to job heroes. The BizSkills platform empowers you to train your team on the core skills they need, with learning personalized and targeted to their individual jobs, leading to more engaged, empowered, and successful employees. How does it work? First, you choose from our amazingly detailed and diverse library of over 500 off-the-shelf or custom job roles. Like magic, our superhuman AI-powered engine then maps your job roles to a library of over 1,500 skills, personalized to those roles. Those skills are then mapped to over 5,000 award-winning courses to create a unique and personalized training program for your learners. BizSkills allows you to easily customize and automate a skills program based on the most important training needs in your organization, so you can monitor your learners' progress as they level up. With prioritized and job-focused skills mapped out for everyone, it takes the guesswork and grunt work out of curriculum development and delivers a focused, goal-oriented learning path for employees. BizSkills is built to make things effortless for you. Effortless to implement, effortless to manage. The epic end result? More engagement, higher performance, less turnover. BizSkills, effortless upskilling.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Erin Pinkowski, and I am the Vice President of Product here at BizLibrary. Joining me today is our Vice President of Marketing, Paul Eschen. We are broadcasting live from our content production studio here in St. Louis, Missouri. As some of you already know, we at BizLibrary have been delivering learning solutions to organizations of all sizes and across all industries for over 25 years. The BizLibrary collection includes content from over 40 different producer partners that specialize in key topic areas, as well as our own proprietary content developed by subject matter experts and produced within this studio here. This year alone, BizLibrary Productions has produced over 350 lessons released into the collection, averaging 40 new lessons a month on critical topics addressing the needs of today's workforce. Our clients continue to choose BizLibrary because of the breadth and depth of the collection, the ease of LMS administration, and our world-class client success and support teams. But as the world was changing over the past 2 years, we uncovered that new challenges were arising within the workforce, and there was a missing link that allowed organizations to easily and effectively deliver an upskilling program using our solutions. So now I'm going to pass things over to Paul to dig into those challenges a little bit deeper, further solidifying the need for our latest product.
Thank you, Erin. Let me just say welcome. Thank you for joining us today. So exciting to be here to talk about BizSkills, but also just to be here in person with Erin in our awesome studio here. So thanks again for joining us. And like Erin said, it's been a crazy couple of years for all of us L&D and HR professionals. I really want to give a little bit of the backstory of kind of what we're seeing and why we created BizSkills as a product. So I'm sure many of you are very familiar with this term now of the Great Resignation, or what I'm hearing more and more, there's a lot of these rewords, the Great Reprioritization, which I think is a much better way to look at how we're all rethinking what work-life balance looks like and what our expectations of our employers moving forward. And Anthony Klotz really coined this term, a Texas A&M professor, and he believed that the rise of hybrid and remote work would really cause this phenomenon. He said that how we spent our time before the pandemic may not be how we really want to spend our time after. I think that really rings true for all of us. A couple of thoughts he had was some workers who really didn't like their jobs but would stick with it during the pandemic are not sticking with it anymore, right? There's a lot of uncertainty, and now that we're coming out of it, we're seeing people kind of moving on. Additionally, he said that people have really reevaluated their careers, their career paths based on this unprecedented year. It really allows for more reflection. I know many others have friends who have up and left their corporate jobs to become financial advisors or a slew of different jobs. A lot of people moving into real estate, something that allows kind of a different balance of work life and not that 9 to 5. And then in that same vein, there's a lot of people just looking for a job that allows for a better work-life balance, requires flexible work hours, you don't have to go into the office, whatever that may be. but really, a lot of different reasons. So when you look at the data, I mean, his hypothesis really rang true. Every month from April to July, we have seen almost 4 million people quit their jobs. That's insane. Each of those months is the most since the year 2000. So in 22 years, each month we're hitting a new high. It's pretty insane. 41 to 45% of workers now globally are considering leaving their current employer. That's a scary stat. It's interesting though, considering leaving really doesn't mean that they are leaving. So what can we do to give them motivation to stay today? And lastly, we know that almost 80% of CEOs say that their biggest threat to their businesses today and moving into 2022 is the availability of key skills. A lot has changed in the new work from home world, and they're really, really concerned, and it's what keeps them up at night to figure out which skills their employees need based on their specific jobs and the new challenges that are arising around those. So why are employees moving on? Well, there's 3 real main reasons that employees are looking for new jobs. Number 1, poor management. This has always been a challenge. It remains a key reason why people move on from their jobs. But when you look at remote management and some of the challenges of people managing a more increasingly dispersed workforce, many managers just aren't equipped to do that and are struggling with that learning curve. Second, job shifts. Going back to just people feeling that they have the skills they need to be successful in their role, and it's not stressing them out and that they feel like there is a path to get there. And then 3, minimal career growth. Do employees see the 2 to 3 year plan for their current role and how that's going to evolve into something new and better and fulfilling for their lives? So with that, what we decided to do this summer was do our own survey. So we actually polled over 200 customers and really asked them, what's the current state of personalized skills training? What are you doing today? And what does the future look like? And there are 3 really big takeaways that we found valuable. We found that almost 82% of companies really don't use tools or resources to identify any kind of skill gaps today. The data showed that they absolutely see this as a priority and they know it's important. They're just really struggling with how to actually implement this. The top 3 obstacles when trying to implement those training programs were competing priorities, lack of time, and not enough bandwidth. All things that I think resonate with all of us. How do you find the time to actually create personalized learning plans for each of your employees? Through this process, the last few months of developing BizSkills, we found that on average, it's basically takes anywhere from 8 to 10 hours to develop a personalized learning plan for each employee. So when you really add up those numbers quickly, you could understand why this is a daunting challenge for many, many companies out there. So with that, I'm really, really excited, after kind of teeing up what the challenges that we're seeing are out in the world, to kick it back over to Erin to really talk through how BizSkills is the solution to all these challenges.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Paul. So as Paul mentioned, I am happy to announce that we do have a solution to the reskilling and upskilling challenge organizations are facing. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce you to BizSkills, our newest product that will take the guesswork and grunt work out of delivering a targeted, personalized learning experience. The BizSkills platform empowers you to train your team on the core skills they need with learning that's personalized and targeted to their individual jobs, leading to more engaged, empowered, and successful employees. So with BizSkills, you can deliver and support your upskilling and reskilling efforts across the full talent development spectrum, from informal employee skills development to formal learning plans, as well as career development programs. So on the informal side, within BizSkills, you'll be able to recommend specific skill development pathways and learning content based on either an employee's skills of interest or their current job role and responsibilities. For a more formal approach to skills development, BizSkills identifies the specific skills and levels required for each job role. You can then assess an employee's current level of skill for that job role and then prescribe a personalized development plan to help them build their strengths as well as address any skill gaps identified. Then to tackle career and succession planning, BizSkills allows employees and the organization to look forward, identifying the skills needed for future job roles and recommending or prescribing a plan for preparing for that future. This will help organizations build and maintain a bench of talent available for the challenges in the future, as well as identify any high potentials within your organization. So to accomplish these key 3 areas, we will have 3 core libraries. We have a job role library, a skills library, and then of course our content library with all of the critical connections in between. So while other solutions on the market provide the ability for administrators to build their own job roles, map to skills, and then map to content, the amount of administrative work that Paul already touched on is significantly overwhelming and exhausting. So we wanted to deliver a solution that felt effortless, which is why we are equipping you with over 500 off-the-shelf job roles. Those job roles are already mapped to the most critical skills required for those roles. And then lastly, those skills are then mapped to over 5,000 lessons within the BizLibrary collection. Thanks to our partnership with MC, as well as their AI-powered algorithms, BizSkills delivers a dynamic solution. As job roles change, as the skills change required for those roles, or new content is added to the BizLibrary collection, those libraries will update along the way, ensuring your employees are receiving relevant training to help grow their skills. We are confident that BizSkills can positively impact many areas within your organization. First, BizSkills will boost employee engagement, confidence, as well as productivity by offering relevant training that will help your employees excel in their specific roles. Second, BizSkills will positively impact you, L&D or HR professionals, by taking the guesswork and significant time commitment out of curriculum development and allowing you to expertly scale personalized learning experiences throughout your organization. And lastly, BizSkills will reduce turnover by delivering catered and focused learning experiences that help your employees see growth opportunities within your company and a path forward. So now let's jump into the product and show you around.
Okay, so here we are on the administrative side of our platform, and all organizations that license BizSkills will have a new navigation item titled Skills Development. And within skills development, there's 2 main areas. There's the job roles as well as the skills library. Now, for the purpose of this demo, I kind of want to walk you through the informal upskilling process that we talked about, and then we'll get over into the more formalized process of delivering the formalized development plans. So really, to get started, regardless of whether it's informal or formal, we're going to start with the job role library. Upon logging in for the first time, you will be prompted to create job roles. As you can see here, I've already created some job roles within this environment. But again, first step is going to be to create job roles. And there's really 3 ways or 3 options that you have to do that. First option is to browse the off-the-shelf job role library. And then the other 2 options are to create job roles, whether that's individually or if you want to upload job roles utilizing our import spreadsheet. So starting with the off-the-shelf library, again, you have access to over 500 job roles that have already been created that have the job title, description, responsibilities, as well as the skills associated with those job roles. That way you don't have to start from scratch. If you don't already have something created, you can leverage this off-the-shelf library. But you do, of course, have the options to create custom job roles utilizing those 2 options there. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to walk you through importing job roles from our off-the-shelf library. So to start, here is the off-the-shelf library. I have the ability to look at the different categories associated with the job roles. I can sort all of these fields here. For this purpose, I'll look at the executive category. Now here I can preview a job role. If I want to just click here, I can preview the title, the description, the category that it's in, as well as the different skills associated with that job role if I want to look at it before I import it into my library. So if I've decided I want to import some of these into my custom library, I can do so just by selecting these items here. You might have noticed this job role draft is then populating up here, and I can preview them before I then import them in. Once I import those job roles, now I have the ability to customize job roles. So I'll walk you through that customization process here. Let's go with Product Manager. And so what we're opening here is the job role profile. So now I have the customization options where I can edit this page. I have my job title here. I have the description as well as the responsibilities, and then I can see those specific skills. So from this action dropdown, I can select edit, and I can make any changes as I see fit. If I want to change the job title, or if I want to add any additional responsibilities, I can do so. I also have the ability to customize the skills that are associated with this job role. Now from here, I can remove skills if I don't feel that they're applicable to this specific role within our organization, just by selecting here and removing, or I can add skills from the skills library. So the skills library is our off-the-shelf library, and there's over 1,500 skills available within that library, and those skills are already mapped to the content within the BizLibrary collection. You also have the ability to create custom skills. So let's say maybe you want to create skills that are specific to core values within your organization, and you want to upload custom content, maybe that you've created internally, and link that to that custom skill. Once you do that, then you have the ability to add it to a job role profile that you would do right here. That way, you're truly customizing that, and you're adding that to this specific profile. So once I've made all my modifications, I can then save this job role profile, and it's available to be linked to a learner. Now, I'm not going to touch on ratings just yet. We'll come back to that once we start getting into the formalized side of things. So again, once I've saved my profile, I can then link my learners. Now, as you see here, I've already linked some learners to this job role. The way that you link learners is actually on the learner profile. So every learner within the platform has a learner profile. We've added a new field called job role. And so in order to link the learners, I would populate the learner profile with the job role of product manager. Once that learner profile matches a job role profile, I can then take the action here to link that learner. They'll then populate within this listing here. So you can see all of the learners that are linked to this job role. And then once that link happens, your learners will now start receiving the content recommendations front and center on their homepage. So I'll navigate there to show you what that looks like. So this is our customizable homepage that is available within the platform. And what you can see here is our new widget has been added, and we put this one in the header for this purpose. But I am a product manager, and I can now see the featured skills that are associated with my job role. So as soon as I log in, I'm presented with these skills, and I can start taking content. So I can click into these individual skills, or I can just click to view all. And once I click that, it'll take me to the featured skills for my role. I can navigate through these different skills, and I can start taking content. So by clicking here, it launches the content. All statuses will be updated. As I start completing content, I can see the status of that content within these different skills. This functionality is very similar to our playlist functionality, which our clients are already used to, as well as learners. So it's very familiar to them and easy to navigate. So that really kind of concludes the informal side of things. And so now I want to jump over to the ratings feature that I touched on previously. So I'm going to go back to the administrative side and show you how ratings can be leveraged within your organization. So I'll navigate back to the product manager job role, and we'll start there. So from this job role profile, I can edit the job role standard for the specific skills. Now, every skill that is imported or associated with an off-the-shelf job role, we've set it as a default standard of 4. So we have a 1 through 5 scale available. So 1 being novice, 5 being expert. I can go in as an administrator, and I can update the rating standard for this job role. So let's say that agile methodology, it's just something we're getting started within the organization. So I'm just going to put it as a 3 for demonstrating. But I really need a product manager to be an expert, when it comes to the skill of detail oriented. So I'm going to leave that at a 5. I can make those customizations as I see fit. And then once I save that, those job role standards are now associated with this job role. Now, as you make modifications to a different job role, let's say another job role has the same skill of detail oriented, but maybe it's not as important within that other job role, it can be customized to the job role itself. So it's not associated with the skill, it's associated with the job role. So once those job role standards are in place, learners will have the ability to rate themselves. Now, ratings is not something that is required. You have the ability to disable ratings if you don't want them presented to learners. But if it is enabled, learners as well as supervisors will be presented or prompted with this ratings banner here. So for this demo case, I am a supervisor that I have individuals that are reporting to me, and I need to complete ratings for those learners. So right here, I have James Barnes. He reports to me and I have to rate him. So James is a training manager. Communications is the first skill that is associated with James. So I would go through and I would say, I think James is a 2 at or developing for the skill of communications. And I would navigate through and complete that skill rating. So once I've completed that skill rating, it'll move over into my ratings history so I can see when I rated these individuals. Now from the learner side, for this demo purpose, I've already completed my ratings for my role of product manager. And so I'm not presented with this banner, but if I hadn't presented it, I would have a banner here that says you have the skill ratings that you need to complete. Once I complete those ratings, I can then navigate to my skills profile and I can see the skills associated with my job role. I can see the rating standard for that skill. So that rating that we set up, that administrator set up on the job role profile. I can see what my manager rated me, and then I can see what I rated myself. Now there is weighting that is associated with these ratings, and you have the ability to modify that as you're enabling ratings in the settings. So if you want to weight the manager ratings more heavier than the individual rating, you can do that. It's completely up to you. But that then determines the overall proficiency and how a learner stacks up against the rating standard. So as you can see here, depending on what the weighting was, I'm below, my proficiency level is below the rating standard of 3. So I've got some work to do in these areas. Now in this one, since it's green, it looks like I've exceeded this job role standard because my manager rated me a 5 and the job role standard is only a 2. So maybe for the purpose of this informal skill development, I know that I'm going to prioritize some of these other skills over other ones in order to start closing those bigger skill gaps. So ratings really have a much bigger impact when we get into development plans. Development plans, as we talked about, is the more formalized process of ensuring that a learner is developing the skills and closing those skill gaps through assigned development plans. So I'll navigate back to the administrative side and show the process for setting up those development plans and then what that will look like for the learner. So again, at that informal process, they're just receiving those content recommendations through different skill playlists on their profile. But if I want to assign a development plan and require content to be completed for a learner, I can do that through this development plan process. So I'm going to select the business development manager job role for this purpose. And let's just assume that I've already made the customizations that I wanted to make. I have added skills, I've removed skills, and I've set the rating standard that I want associated with this job role. Once that's complete and I've linked my learners, I can then go to the development plan tab. Now, I've already started this development plan process. So if you're navigating here for the first time, you'll actually be prompted with the option to select how much content you want required based off of how big the skill gap is within these specific skills. So business development, for example, if I have a learner that is rated themselves, they've rated themselves a 1, their manager has rated themselves a 1, and the job role standard is a 4, I can set the requirement for each of those skills based off of how much content I want required for that specific skill. So if I have someone that has a large skill gap, I can say I want them to have to complete 10 lessons within this specific skill of the development plan. Let's say I have a learner that is already at a 4 and the job role standard is a 3, then they don't need to take any content. It'll be presented to them, but nothing is required in order for them to show a complete status on the development plan. So those customization options are available to you, and that's what really makes it easy to deliver these development plans at scale. You're not having to go in and customize it based off of the learner. It's taking their skill rating, it's taking that job role standard, it's taking the settings that you put in place and delivering that without a lot of administrative work. So once I can preview the content within these specific skills, I can add content from here if I decide there's additional content that I want added in that maybe I didn't add in initially. Once that's complete and I've reviewed, I can then create this assignment. It will prompt me to remind me to enable ratings if I want that to be required, which I can actually do that right here as a prerequisite of the development plan. So I can say that I want the manager rating to be completed as well as the learner rating to be completed in order for this development plan to be assigned. So from here, I'd go through our standard assignment process where I can set a due date. All of those requirements that I had set up with skills will be presented to the learner, and they'll be presented with this assignment. They'll be notified that they have received this development plan assignment, and they'll be able to start completing content within those specific skill stages. So the last thing that I want to touch on really quick is reporting. So we have added additional reporting insights specific to skills development within our standard reporting section. So it's all centralized within the platform. As you can see here, the skills development tab has been added. This is a test environment, so I don't have any data present here, but you can see that you have the ability to view skill development by a specific job role, by skills within a job role, or also see specific status updates on the development plans that are assigned to your learners and the status within those.
All right, and that concludes our demo of BizSkills. So next I want to touch on what we've been focused on over the past few months with our beta program. So we have released BizSkills to a group of beta clients to gather feedback and ensure that BizSkills delivers on the goal of effortless upskilling. As you can see from the initial feedback here, it looks as though we have delivered. Looking forward, we will be releasing 2 new features that will help answer some of the questions that employees might be asking. The "what's next for me" question, or "what do I need to do to get there?" So after mastering their current role, employees will be able to add skill interest to their profile to start developing skills outside of their current job role. In addition, role recommendations will provide them insights into which roles within the organization would be a good fit for them based off of their current skill ratings and the requirements of that future job. These key features will help drive additional skill development, building a bench of talent, and making your employees your competitive advantage.
Great, Erin. And first off, awesome demo. It's always nice when the technology works, and that was truly effortless. So great job there. And really just want to close out with a few items that we really think differentiate BizSkills from anything else on the market. And really, it starts with this is much more than a platform. Many companies out there really offer what we'll call like an empty box. Yes, it's great. They give you the platform and you can build, your own job roles, your own skills. Like we talked about, though, very, very time consuming. We really like to say this is an out of the box solution. We've done all of the mapping. We've connected all of the skills, all of the content, as Erin talked about and just showed. So it really does, get you 80, 90% of the way there to then customize the last 10% for your organization, saving you a lot of time. And then lastly, you have our promise. You're getting the expert content curation and client support that all of our BizLibrary clients are really, know us for and that we're famous for. That doesn't go away. If anything, it really just now applies to skills and job roles, just like it already applied to our content. So you do know that content's getting updated and those skills and jobs are getting updated as well. And you really reap the benefits of all of that. So I think really exciting to be here today, to be broadcasting live from our studio where we create so much awesome content for our clients every day. And I just want to say, if you want to get in touch with Erin or I directly, feel free to. And additionally, if you'd like a demo, a deeper dive walkthrough, or even just to kind of have a discovery call with one of our client success representatives, feel free to fill out the form to the right, or in the survey response, you're able to connect with us that way as well. So thank you again for joining us. Really do appreciate it, and have a great rest of your week.
Yes, thank you so much.